Okay.
Okay.
Hello, my fellow comic book collectors. Today is a very special video. This is the first time me doing this, where I'm going to be doing an interview with none only than NightTiger. He was one of the few channels when I was first getting started that kind of gave me a helping hand. And he had me on his channel and helped me build my subscribers when I was just getting started. So I wanted to interview him and talk about comics with him. So I have 4 questions that I ask to all the people that I interview. And I want to ask him and, see how it goes. Okay, so the very first thing is, hi, how are you doing, NightTiger?
How's everybody doing? What's up, comic book junkies? Good to be here. Thanks for having me. This is exciting.
Yeah, this is a very demo kind of thing. We're going to practice this and hopefully it works out well and I'll air it next week. So yeah, so tell me about yourself. What do you do? How did you get into collecting comics?
So I had to really think about this. As early as I can remember, I always wanted to draw stuff. I like drawing. When I see stuff, I'm like, I can replicate that. So my mom, she took us to the library like every other week. We were walking to some library. We lived in Milwaukee, and there were hundreds of libraries around us. And my mom, I don't know what it is, but she walked us. It was 3 of us kids. So, as someone who likes to draw, what do you look for when you go to a library? Well, you look for books on drawing. So a lot of the books that were in the drawing section were either anatomy, and then they led to cartooning.
Mm-hmm.
Cartooning led to other aspects of cartooning. So I said, okay. So I always looking for different books because, you're going out all the time. And my mom would encourage us to check out stacks of books. So I would take out books like this.
Oh, wow.
Golden Age of DC, Golden Age. These weren't the exact ones. I mean, the ones that are like the Stranka one, and there's a 2-parter on that. There's the comics one with the X in the name. That's a good one. Those were ones that we checked out. But stuff like that. And then they had the other reprints that were older than these. These just came out recently.
Oh, those are kind of cool.
2000s. You can find these at Ollie's for cheap. The most expensive one at Ollie's was this one, but the other ones were like $5. This one was 15.
Oh, wow.
You
really
go to
cheap.
the library, you check out this stuff, and you start looking at it, and the colors are just unbelievable.
So those omnibuses, or what are they? Are they just?
They're a collection of the Warrior comic issues.
Oh, wow.
And then I just picked this. This is the last one I picked up from Ollie's for like $5 or less.
Oh, wow. Will Eisner. Awesome.
Yeah. So, as a kid, it's all about the colors. You don't have much knowledge. You're just learning. You don't know what's what. I mean, my first real encounter with comic books was the Batman TV show. And I would watch that all the time. I'd put on a towel, run around with my cousin, make the sound effects. Another big thing at the time was Kiss, and they were all dressed up in makeup like superheroes. So we had all this stuff. I wasn't really knowing about comic books yet, but I would go to the dentist and the doctor, and then we stacks of the Atlas by Larry Lieber, the 1976. So I remember that. I remember my cousin gave me a stack of Spider-Man. And again, it was just the colors were unbelievable. Mm-hmm. I just would cut out all the full panels of Spider-Mans and then paste them in a notebook. And I made collages of Spider-Man at the time. So, it wasn't until I started to draw and I started to, I picked up, let me show some of the books I first picked up. These are when I was buying comics.
You didn't destroy any big books, did you?
No, so that was younger. Between then, I wasn't really collecting comics, but I was still drawing things, checking books out, learning, watching the shows. And then as I got around, I think it was around 13, I was able to start buying my own comics. And before that, before I bought my own comics off the newsstand, go to a comic shop, which was not It was just mom and pop's old comics. And you could buy stuff like this for $0.25.
Oh, wow.
These are all reprint titles. So, nobody wanted them. And they're square bound too.
Mm-hmm.
And so this introduced you to not only Golden Age, Timely, but to Jack Kirby's Fantastic Four. And so I was just picking up stuff like that. This was probably right after I started buying comics, because off the newsstand, because they were 50 cents. You could get these for $0.25.
Yeah.
Let me show you a few. Okay, so this is my memory's not the best. I went through my collection, and so this is probably one of. I don't think I bought this when it came out. I think it was still on the newsstand, like left over for a couple months. This is from March '81.
I always love that book.
I started really buying new comic books off the newsstand around the later end of '81. So I remember this book was one book that I still. This has a great story in it where a vampire tries to mug him and while he's walking home at night. This has Chris Claremont scripts in it. It has Frank Miller art in it. And it's just a nothing book. And that's from December '81. Really good stories though.
Mm-hmm.
Really good. And another one. This title is really good. I actually went and I tracked down most of the back issues. It was written well. This was another one that got me, was a nice The Trial of Yellowjacket. And there was some really profound things that were happening in the Avengers titles, a wife abuse, physical abuse, and stuff like that. And then betrayal of the Avengers. He betrays them in open court, makes Ultron attack him so he can shut him down. And then things go wrong and he can't. The override button doesn't work, and there's a real battle in the court. It's a really good storyline.
Wow.
Really good art and everything. This is also December '81, or no, sorry, November. And he was my favorite character. I wasn't really happy that they did that to him, but
yeah.
they did it so well. I could accept it. It was done very classy. This is another favorite of mine and every time I find this one, I used to find these for $1 all the time. First Daredevil and Moon Knight, two of my top favorite Marvel characters together. And Bill Sienkiewicz cover.
So were you a Marvel collector when you first started, or?
It wasn't about I'm just a Marvel guy. I was like, what's the best story? What's the best art? What's the coolest? So if some DC had something cool, I was there, So like I always say, I'll read a certain topic that I don't like against what I believe or whatever. But I always say, if a writer writes a story well, whatever the subject, you're gonna like it. You may not like the subject, but you'll like the story. And that happened when I read that Kazar that I was telling you about. I didn't like what happened to it, but it was done so well. It was like it moved me. And a piece of paper and ink.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? So yeah, I'm nerding out on it. But here's another one. This was November '81. Another one, early ones that I first started buying off the newsstand. And then, of course, Captain America. He's my #1 guy from Marvel. This is from December '81. This is an X-Men crossover. Really not. It's all has to do with mind control. But it was a good storyline that ran for a while, and Zach was doing the art at the time.
Wow.
And I really liked it. And I forget who was writing it, but they were introducing a lot of cast members to the book, new cast members, girlfriends and stuff like that. And Steve was
sort of expanding his.
Yeah, and he was a comic book artist, and they never really showed that before. So it was really part of the story now. It was like Clark Kent, Superman, Steve Rogers as a comic book. He was a commercial artist, and he had an apartment. And it was more like they focused on that, and then he was Captain America on the side. And when they do that, it's more interesting because the character grows. But another big one that I was picking up, and actually he's my favorite guy, Cap's second. So Daredevil, and this is the death of Elektra.
Yeah.
Bullseye kills her. And then I have the Resurrection issue. I couldn't find it. Sometimes I'll pull my books for shows and they're like, oh, I want to read that again. So I'll throw it in the short boxes with the books that aren't read. And
Yeah, I
then
always liked Electra for some reason. I always liked.
I still haven't got her first appearance. I haven't found that right issue yet.
Oh, I have like 2 of them. I keep on buying it for some reason.
Hey, I would too. And then this one was one, and I always like it because it's still one of the only covers I know where the origin is on the cover. And that's from May 82.
Well,
So if you ever see those, man, pick them up. It's cool.
cool.
Where I can't remember seeing the origin. I know one title where they have like he's a backup feature, or they have the backup feature and they have it down here, like in the box. But other than that, I've never seen the origin on the cover.
So, okay, so how about you show some of your, like, are these your
These
favorite?
are ones I bought off the newsstand.
So what are some of your favorite comics in your collection?
Okay, I have 2 more left.
Okay, so 2 more, I guess. Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah, I wasn't into this, but I don't know how I got it. And when I read it, I was like, man, this is really good. So I started buying it. I'm rereading it right now. And then the last one, well, the last 2. This is the first Academy of Crime. This is Don Newton. This was an incredible run on Batman. The art was just so good. The stories were so good. I think one of the Killer Croc was the big villain that was introduced at that time. Okay, so moving forward, so I stopped buying new comics. I was just only buying back issues for a long time, but like I told you that I started drawing.
Oh, wow.
So I started making my own comic book universe.
So these are your own characters?
Yeah.
NightTiger.
A lot of them are copies. NightTiger's an original. That my daughter one day was naming these kittens we had. She goes, NightTiger. And I'm like, oh, that's a superhero.
Yeah. Oh, that's really cool. I didn't realize you had like a NightTiger comic.
Yeah, that's what the channel is after the character.
Wow. Did you ever make a comic?
I have 2 full issues that I drew.
Really?
The other one
I'll have to find those. That's really cool.
No, I haven't had them printed.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah, it would be cool if you printed it.
So I really kind of fell out of buying comics when I started a family and stuff, but then when I got back into a little bit of buying, this was one of my favorite runs. The Azrael Batman today is still.
Yeah, I really loved it.
I wish Azrael was Batman and not Bruce Wayne. He's like the Iron Man of Batman.
Yeah.
And he was just so cool. I forget what issue of Catwoman that he fought her, and it was like the best written fight scene that I have ever seen. I have just more stuff, these reprints. And another thing is, when I was a kid, I must have picked up at a yard sale one of these, and that's how I started dreaming of Golden Age. Like I used to think I'll never have this stuff.
Oh yeah, some of the early
coolest.
Yeah.
And so ever since I must have found one of these when I was like 9 or 10, 11 years old. And ever since then, I would dream that I could own, having this stuff, thinking I never could. It was like a fantasy. And I don't even know how to say it, because it's when I switched from my job, changed the direction where I started making like a lot, triple what I was making before. And then with finding Facebook groups, then eBay and YouTube, it was like a perfect storm to collect Golden Age now, and it was like, okay, I'm off to the races.
Now I have the money to buy these things.
But before that, some of the books that I this is another one that I bought, when it came out. This is the first miniseries by.
Yep, yeah, I know. I'm not sure who told me about that book, but I picked it up because somebody said it's the first miniseries done by Marvel. And yeah.
So to back it up a little, so the first time I really went looking for books, not off the newsstand, not cheap stuff to read, but something like a hunt for a grail, I guess.
Yeah.
This is one that I had to have. Moon Knight's my guy.
So is that one you paid more than cover price for, or is that like,
I paid like $40 for this.
wow. So that
I
was good
mean,
money.
well, I only got that like 3 years ago, but
Oh, okay.
I had a copy before that I gave away in a pack. That was the one that I bought, and it was probably $1. It
Mhm.
was. This is probably like a 8.59. That one was probably like a 3.5.
Yeah, yeah.
And then another one, Moon Knight. So I tracked these issues down when I was a kid. Early Moon Knight and
Early Defenders and
Defenders
stuff, yeah.
with some great Keith Giffen art inside. This is the Pence copy. So I got this for
Oh,
50
wow.
back. And then this isn't the original. I have 4 major collections. This is the fourth. I've sold them all. I like got fed up with comics and it was like taking over my life. So, but after a while, you realize you can't get it out of you. It's part of you.
Yeah, yeah.
My first collection, I bought a bunch of early X-Men from a mom and pop store when I was a kid, just like 50 cents, maybe $1. And this was one of them. So I finally got a high grade copy.
Nice.
And a lot of them are just, I don't want to pay what they want for them now. I don't want to beat up copy. And these books like this are like over $100 or more.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's crazy how much those early X-Men are going for now.
So those were books that I tracked down. In my first collection, like I said, I had a lot of early Marvel, but I was like 18. I had gotten in trouble with the law. I had all these fines and tickets building up, and I was just like almost going to jail if
So
I
you're like
didn't.
a rebel kid.
Yeah, if I didn't pay off these fines and stuff, I was definitely going to jail. So I sold my whole collection. I paid off everything with the collection, but it is what it is.
Yeah, yeah. That sucks. But oh well. So be good or you'll lose your comic collection.
Exactly. And there, it was a different time. I also had early Spider-Man. I bought them for my ex-wife's husband for like $10, like single digit comics. And like a year later, I needed money. So I just sold them all for $10 again.
Oh,
And now I
wow.
look at it and they're like thousands of dollars. But I just got this one as my grail. I love this character. I love characters don't have superpowers.
Okay.
And I finally got a copy
Oh,
that
Dead Man.
I was comfortable with the price and condition. Can you see? I can't.
It's okay. Yeah, it's
I'm so
cool.
small. I can't tell the glare's covering up the book.
Yeah, right there is good. That's a great one.
So this is like a 2.0. Everything's attached. All the covers are there.
Hmm.
It was a coverless or a remainder cut. No, it was coverless with reproduction cover. And they wanted more for that than this guy wanted for this one.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that's crazy. But
So
that's
there's
a great
another one.
book. I like
I
that.
don't know. I don't know why I have this affection for Dr. Strange. So this is a
Yeah.
book I always wanted to get. So I finally found one. I forget how much it was. It was just before this book was really heating up. It was like $80. This is a 4.5, so it was $80.
Hmm.
And then they sent me someone else's book, and then they sent me a message. Hey, we sent you the wrong book, and we sent your book to that person.
Oh, man.
Can you send it out? We'll reimburse your shipping. So I'm like, okay, gave him the tracking number. And so I go, okay, can I get the tracking number for my book? And like, oh, well, they say they don't have a tracking number. I'm
Uh-oh.
like, what? I'm like, oh shit. So those people can say, oh, we didn't get it.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm not getting this book. And I already sent the other one back.
Yeah.
So it came like 3 weeks later, it came. I was shocked.
It's amazing how
So
honest people can be. It's actually kind of
they
amazing.
said, well, we'll give you $10 off your troubles. My wife's like, you better get at least 20. So I told them, no, my wife told me I got to have 20. So I get, okay. So I got this for $60. Now this is
Wow.
like, what, $160 book?
Yeah, something
And this
like that.
grant
It's pretty
me
expensive.
more. So I was happy with that. It was just weird. I have another Grail. I think I took it off the wall. It's my earliest issue of King Comics. It was the same thing. They said that it was delivered. So I was like, I got my Grail. This is like a platinum book. It's
Mhm.
cool. I got it for $40 and it's
Wow.
in nice condition. And then I look and it says delivered. And I'm like, what? There's no book here. I was mad. I went down to the post office every week because I work out of town.
Mhm.
And I was raising hell. Why are you firing this person? Isn't their job to know how to deliver to an address? If they can't do that, why do you want them working for you? And calling and everything. So then one day, my wife, I'm talking to her. She goes, "Oh, you got a package today?" I'm like, "I did. I'm not supposed to get one." And she's like, "Oh yeah." She opened up this Popeye on the cover, and I'm like, "No way."
Wow.
So I think what it was is that because they have a replacement on Fridays sometimes. I think
Mhm.
he stole the book.
Oh, really?
And
And
so,
then,
yeah,
but
so
how'd
I
they
was
find
putting up
you?
because the lady told me the first time I went in, she goes, "Well, I cannot tell you what the GPS says, but because there's no house at that lot, I can tell you." And she goes,
Mhm.
"They deliver it to this address and there's no house there."
Okay.
Right away, that's like, okay, this person probably stole this book.
Oh, man.
So then I came in, I had that info. The managers didn't really have too much to say because I told them I already know that they delivered it to a non-address. So why would, if this person, if you have the documentation,
Yeah.
why do you want this person working for you? But they don't
Yeah.
care.
Yeah.
Okay, so you asked me what are some of my favorites,
Yeah. What are your
right?
favorites? Yeah. What are your favorites?
So I never had a number one favorite. Need a drink until I got this book from two great guys in the community. You know them both. So it was Roger's book. It was the first time Jerry was conserving on his channel.
Okay.
And he mentioned that Roger sent him the book. Well, I said, I know Roger, and that's a book, that's a grail of mine. My
Mhm.
favorite character and his early appearance. So I contacted Roger right away. And he's like,
Silver
"Well,
Streak.
I'm not attached to that book. If you want to trade," I'm like, holy, I couldn't believe he was saying that. This is from 1941, number 12.
Nice.
And I couldn't believe he was saying that. I was like, what? So he's like, yeah, just if you wanted to trade, I got a list of stuff I need. So he sent me a list. And I tried to fill that whole list with everything I had that he needed. So I was happy to get that. So it's my number one book in my collection.
So, Night Tiger, just so you know, I have to tell you this. We have 10 minutes to finish this.
What?
Because
Okay, well, I'm pretty.
yeah, sorry, but
No, that's cool.
I didn't
Let
realize.
me see. I think we're right on track because I was gonna say what are my favorite books, but my favorite books are always changing. Usually it's whatever comes in new.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Just
You know
whatever.
how that goes. And so what came in new? Let's see here. This isn't new. This is I showed that. I just showed that. But this is came in.
Oh, nice. I'm a big fan
I
of
wanted
like
to.
Captain Marvel.
It's a high grade and it's an earlier. What number? 57. I mean, it's not that early, but I try to get them mostly under 50. Cool cover. It was a high grade, was what you told me on it. So I paid up for it. And then this one, man, I got this for $35.
I think you showed me that on IG. I think that was really cool.
This was, I think, Greg showed this on the live show. But then I got it for 35 and I wasn't sure when I got it. I was like, I think that's that book. And then when I was looking, the guy probably didn't know what he had because that book was like over 50, 60, $70 more than that.
Yeah, yeah, easily.
Just pick that one up, high grade copy of this.
Is that Schomburg?
Yep. So it's always changing favorite stuff, you know. I just love Golden Age superhero mostly.
Yeah.
I was gonna pull this book down. This is one of my favorite. I can't find another copy of it. And there's other people looking for this book. Probably you now that I show it to you. But I've only seen 3 copies in probably 10 years.
Oh, that's interesting. Real clue.
The Poison cover.
Yeah.
Good
it's really
story,
cool.
good true story too about this lady that poisoned her husband.
Some of the real
Okay,
clues were
back
in
off
the
though. You don't want this. You
Yeah,
don't
it's
want
really
this. It's
cool.
not that cool.
It is cool. I like these murder and mayhem ones. Space Adventures is awesome. I like the bondage cover too. Oh, that's a famous one.
Did
That's
you
a
see that
McElroy.
I know, it's hard to always remember
I
his
always
name.
say his name messed up.
McElroy.
McElroy. Yeah.
Oh, I do too. But right now on my comic shop, they have a 1.0, so that could be a 2.0. Planet
Yeah.
Comics robot cover.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
175.
Wow.
Yeah, you should go get it.
I'm
If I
spending-
had the money, I would have bought it already.
That's a great one. I actually tried to pick that copy up. That's a really great
I
one.
wasn't going to, but the grade on this compared to the price comparative for this grade, this
Mhm.
book was underpriced, like $200 at least.
Wow.
Because there's another one lower grade than this for more money.
Mhm.
So I seen this and then I put it on my list. I'm like, you know what? It kept like, you better get that money. You're not going to get a Planet Comics like that for 175.
So, NightTiger, since we only got 6 minutes left, what are you hunting right now?
I don't even know. I just look on new listings and I look for books that are scarce and underpriced
Okay.
or high grade and underpriced, just always looking for those deals.
Are there specific genres or like things that you're
Well, this
looking
one,
for?
look, I was waiting for this one until I could find it under 50. So I just
Wow.
got it. And I've been looking for about 2 years. And I paid, I didn't even put it on here, but it was like $40. And this book usually goes low grade 80, high grade 120s or higher. So it's a really high grade book for $40. So I've been
Yeah.
that's a thing. If I want something, I'll wait until I feel comfortable with the price. This one, I don't know. I researched it. It's pretty scarce. But I don't want, I paid more than I wanted. I don't know why. I thought maybe I need to buy something today.
Did you get that off my comic shop? Yeah, I was looking at that book. That's so funny.
Yeah, I don't know. I get these 6 cents about books in the golden age, like they're pretty hard to find or scarce.
Yeah.
And so
I like that cover.
Oh,
You
this
would have seen that
one.
in my unboxing if you didn't buy it.
That's another my comic shop.
Yeah, it's a really nice one
I
too.
was looking to see how scarce this book is, and when I found out it's pretty scarce, it's a single digit too. I said,
wow.
okay, I'm gonna buy it. And it's good girl,
Yeah, it's
And
got
then
some
this
good color.
one, another one, condition and price were just right. It's like a 5.5, maybe 6.0.
That's Doolin, right?
Yeah. No, Bob Lovett.
Oh, Lovers. Yeah. Or,
And this had make an offer, and I offered them 30 less, and they came back with 10 more. So
okay.
it was like 117 or something like that with shipping. So I'm just looking, that's how I look. I don't have any specifics. I did go to the comic shop yesterday or the day before and tried to work on a run of this. So these were $2. The Strange Tale Bronze Age reprints. I try to support the shop. It's a little shop out of town.
Okay.
So I usually try to buy bigger books when I'm there. These were 2 of the bigger books. He had some Golden Age. He has Golden Age there. He had some nice Airboy, decent, really nice looking cover with a heap on them for $50. I should go back.
The Airboys that go for big money are the ones with Valkyrie on them.
Oh, well, these are the ones with the heap. in the second or the Venus. These were the bigger books. Neil Adams. But when I say about reprints, or I picked up a ton of these the ones that I needed to complete the run, and they were all $2. These are the dollar books, Super Family.
Uh-oh. So, Night Tiger, sorry, but we don't have much time.
Okay. And I got the very first one in the run.
I just don't want to get cut off mid thing. So we have 2 minutes.
Well, they
Where can people find you? I'm going to put all the links.
NightTiger Comics, YouTube. What's that?
I'm going to put all the links in the description to your IG and your.
So NightTiger Comics YouTube, and then NightTiger Comics, all one word, on Instagram.
Cool.
And there's a secret giveaway going on that I have to wrap up soon. So maybe one more video.
Okay. So
watch me on live shows, because anytime I'm on a live show, it's probably going to be a giveaway for me.
And what are you working on in terms of like videos that are coming up? That you have this contest, secret giveaway, and what else?
Yeah, I got to wrap that up, and then I got the haul from this store I just went. I got probably a Golden Age haul. That's twice too many, or 2 videos in one, or a long one, or you know how it is.
Yeah. I love your videos. Where you're explaining some aspect of the one that I really enjoyed was you explained the bat symbol.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that was a good one. I picked up all the keys from that.
I was watching an interview about the Dazzler. I did one on the Dazzler, how Kiss was kind of responsible for the creation of Dazzler.
Oh wow.
Kiss the rock group. Cool. So I have a video like way back that I did on that.
So quickly, because the time is about to run out, I just wanted to say thank you for coming on the show, and I'll talk to you on IG after this. So thanks again, Night Tiger, and we'll maybe do this again sometime, because there's so much stuff you have to show. Okay, thanks again.
All right, thanks, Alan.
Okay.
Everybody take care. Appreciate everybody.